Hey there, YouTube fam. How's it going? Thank you for joining me. This is going to be an all signs general community reading. And you know the drill. This is YouTube. If it's not resonating, that's okay. Maybe at the very least, I can help you with some perspective. Either way, the whole point of this entire channel is for sharing positive vibes. So I appreciate the company. Now let's get into it. Okie dokie, so I have already pre-shuffled. So let's begin by cutting the decks together, starting with the archetypes. The Vessel. Now the fact that I pulled that upside down, which I normally don't play with reversals, but you know, the card's going to do what the cards are going to do, tells me that maybe you haven't been feeling the greatest, or maybe you're not quite comfortable in your skin, in your body. And you deserve better than that. Okay, my friend? You deserve to feel at home wherever you are. The body, the container, the cup. The vessel may be the most powerful archetype form on earth. It is everywhere. Cups hold liquid, stoves hold fire, our bodies hold organs, our homes hold families. Through the simple act of separation, the vessel protects what it contains. Nests protect the eggs, savings accounts protect our earnings. Even the planets are contained within their circular orbit. When this card appears, it's time to assess what is being held together and how. Is the vessel too tight, too loose, broken, empty, full? Or perhaps there is no vessel at all, and the contents spill in every direction. It is natural for structures to be formed and eventually fall apart, and the vessel has a life cycle that must be honored. Is it time for you to build, break, or repair? You must find out. I feel like most of us don't even quite comprehend how strong, how important our own bodies really are. They are our constant one companion throughout our lives, right? And a lot of times, all too often, it tends to take the full brunt of our frustrations, our depressions, our insecurities. So I do feel like that, is, has meaning it has meaning for me, okay? And on the bottom is the Kiss. Now this is a very, very sensual and affectionate card. You know, this speaks of bonds, of coming together in that that breathless moment of two. You know what I mean? So hey-oh, hey-oh. And the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. There we go. Remember to practice self-love. Real talk, I actually pulled this card in my own personal reading this morning. You're familiar with the concepts of self-love and self-care, but either you've never actually practiced them, or there's something you've fallen behind on. Either way, you should get back on track. Keep yourself maintained in all ways, big or small. That can mean calling it quits to take a luxurious bath instead. Or that can mean putting on a rosewater face mask and getting out your planner so that you can sort out your life before it gets too out of control. Either way, you're being told to take care of yourself. Something's going on, and it's kind of been self-care and taking care of your body. I need to put up my hair. Oh my goodness, I'm so warm right now. Take care of your body and remember, how it gets pointed out in this actual deck that, when we're on a plane, we're told to put our oxygen masks on first, right? Even on the bottom of the deck, do it for yourself. There's that plane. Where are we going next, fam? This person is unbothered by the frigid cold surrounding them because they are enough and they know that they're enough, right? Darn tootin'. Let's see if we can get even more clarification through the tarot. I like to think of the tarot as a story. And these are like the prologue, right? So let's see, what is chapter 1? The Five of Wands, of all things. Interesting. This can speak of, it seems like they're all fighting, doesn't it? But what if this is meant to be healthy competition, right? The fives can speak of conflict, but this card is also reminding us to get our egos out of the way. What if instead of comparing yourself to others, you choose inspiration, right? You choose to recognize that you belong in any room you step into. And the fact that there are others doing what you want to do, what maybe you've longed to do, means that it's possible. And it's time for you to do it in your own way. For all you know, you inspire them, fam. What's chapter 2? Oh, it's the Knight of Cups. I always imagine this little white horse just prancing, all excited because we're finally here. You know what I mean? Are we just on the other side of this river? Right? And it's like, hey, it can be a message of love. But I want you to remember that your being, that self-love has been essentially name dropped, right? And that through being able to love yourself unconditionally enables love, unconditional love, to be drawn into your life, right? I feel like the Page and the Knight of Cups kind of get a bit of a bad rep because some may say that you shouldn't take them too seriously. They're just for a good time right now. I mean, a Page of Cups is talking to a fish. What do you want? Right? But it doesn't have to be like that, right? I feel like sometimes we can get very swept away in the moment, right? And we're being reminded to savor. Savor the good. All right, fam? Don't just treat it like a one-night stand, even the heck if it is. What's chapter 3? The High Priestess. Hey-o. I mean, if you do tarot yourself, what's the point of watching others, am I right? But this is speaking also of like intuitions, that connection to the moon. And these, I was just reading up about these two towers in shamanic Kabbalah. There's such pillars, right? Not only, there's also justice and such, right? But there's also truth and stability. There's balance to it all. The yin and the yang of it all going on. And the pomegranates can symbolize like life and nature, right? Your intuition has been on point lately, hasn't it? And that in and of itself is very enabling. So why would you doubt yourself? This is a reminder that you don't need to doubt yourself. you are in tuned. And you have every right to revel in it, because that is some of the best things, the good stuff in life to revel in. And when I say, I don't mean like bragging and stuff like that. I mean acceptance and allowing yourself to feel it, to trust yourself, know thyself, right? Chapter 4. Another night. Okay, then. All right. This is the fastest night in the entire deck, fam. So you definitely have messages coming in, and this is like a matter of an hour or so, or a day. This is quick. Look at that. Even the clouds are like, soup. But notice that this sword, we can't see the whole thing. So it's almost as if it's pointing up into the heavens. And I love that it's coming up after the High Priestess, because that's speaking even more on intuition and truth, right? There may be a message that comes in that like is going to boggle your mind and how simple it is, right? It could be something that's spoken of in passing that isn't even directed at you, but you hear it and it's like, whoa, clarity on something, right? You have some messages coming in, fam, and you need to trust your intuition on how to take it, right? Don't just behave as though you're stuck in an echo chamber, fam. You know, and you need to trust yourself right now. You have every right to, because your intuition is not leading you astray. Whatever's making your soul and your heart purr, whatever happens when you let the ego, your id factor, get the heck on out and not hold on to that steering wheel, right? That's where you are. What's going to come up underneath the Five of Wands? The Moon card. Nice. So, I want you to acknowledge, I love that it's coming up underneath that actually, because I want you to acknowledge how far you've come. You are no longer this crustacean, right? I like to say we are no longer primordial ooze, right? We may technically be animals, but there's been so much evolution in your path. And again, we have the pillars represented. Enough has been illuminated, right? You know enough to be able to do what it is you're meant to do, what you have your mind set on. Maybe you're in a new industry and you've kind of been feeling like, dang, I really got to prove myself. It's so competitive. Nah, you belong, fam. You've come so far, you've earned this. And you can either stay in the dark with what you've known and what you know, where even though it's been crazy and full of chaos and whatever the heck, it's still comfortable because it's known. Or you can step out into the light of that full, beautiful moon that is truly illuminating things and continue along a path that you may not know. You may, step into the unknown, fam. Trust yourself. This night isn't confused. If anything, they might be a little too hasty, right? So just be careful. Make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. But most of all, love and trust yourself. You have every right to. What's coming up underneath the Knight of Cups? Hey-oh, it's the Empress. Would you look at her? She looks so cozy, just vibing out there in that chair with her cushions and her blankies and stuff. No waistbands to cut into her flesh and make her stomach upset. Thank you. And she has that crown of stars on her head, acknowledging her connection to the divine, to the universe. That's being represented multiple times in this reading, fam. And she is also a symbol of love with that Venus, right? But most of all, unlike this Knight of Swords, she's not a force, you know what I mean? She's not forcing things to happen. She's sitting right down and her manifestations are coming to her. She isn't forcing anything. I think of like, there's a big difference between trusting the universe and the divine and your manifestations, your own power, or going out and buying a lottery ticket. You know what tends to happen in most states here in America when it comes to the lottery itself is they tend to take your picture. They want to know your name. There are only a few states where you can do it anonymously. Otherwise, you should be playing Powerball. But my point is, there's forcing your hand and going to the casino or actually playing the lottery. And there's trusting that the universe and yourself, your own energy, is magnetizing your wants and manifestations to you. You don't have to force shit, all right? This night may be a bit hasty, but they still have that intuition. The swords of the mind. And this night knows exactly what they're out to get, what they're seeking. They know what the message is that they're bringing, that they've been let out to go do, right? What's going to come up underneath that high priestess? Well, you know, ask and you shall receive. I just had to go and mention this, silly pants. This is a reminder to enjoy. Oh, there's another plane. Where we going next, fam? To enjoy your life. Why so serious? Right? You need to take some time and just bathe in love, self-love, self-care, and enjoy yourself. I love that these two came up side by side. You know enough. You know yourself. You know what you want. You know what you're here for. You know what makes your soul purr. Enjoy yourself. Take that pressure off your shoulders. That is such a running theme these days, just as much as we've all been in such a point of evolution, right? Enjoy yourself again. Love yourself. Right? What's coming up underneath that Knight of Swords? Goodness gracious. This is someone who, you know, this card represents things like anxiety, literal sleepless nights. I like to think of it as like Lupin. You got this loop of negativity that you're caught in, your fears, your doubts, that you just, even with this intuition, even with all of this whatever's going on here. But I want you to acknowledge that this person is wearing white, fam. That not only speaks of the rainbow, it speaks of innocence. And she's technically wearing white as well. What are you doing wrong exactly? Because I'm going to call bullshit, okay? You're doing your thing. And that's exactly what you're meant to do. I want you to take care of yourself. Be nice to yourself. Accept yourself. Because you're beautiful. And you have incredible messages coming in. All right? The swords are up as decor as they should be because the battle's done. You have no one to fight. This is like healthy sparring. That's what it's meant to be. Get your ego out of the way. Get your fears and doubts and frustrations out of the way. They have no dominance here, no dominion. All right? What exactly have you done wrong? I'm going to remind you that the nines mean that you are near the end of a cycle. And this one is a painful cycle. Your cortisol levels are high. They have been, huh? And you're trying to shake it off and just keep going. Keep trying. Whether it's through affirmations and reminding yourself that you are that I am. I am that I am. I am strong. I am capable. Right? What's the epilogue to this story? The 5 of Swords. There we go. See, conflict. But the deal with this one is I like to kind of, not only do I refer to it as the fuck around and find out card, like if they wouldn't mess with you, they wouldn't have to, you know, be handled accordingly and left in the dust. But it also is a matter of being able to look back and honor how far you've come. That's been reminded twice. You have a lot of reminders going on in this reading, fam. A lot of reminders of how far you've come, how strong and vibrant you really are. And you deserve to live a life of comfort and love, knowing that you yourself are the magnet. You yourself are your greatest manifestation. What's on the bottom? How's that for a 9, huh? This is the wish fulfillment card. Damn. Because that is the main gist, right? The bottoms, as far as I'm concerned, are the main gist, the main vibe, right? Don't let anything surrounding you affect you negatively ever again. Enough. Enough. I want you to fill your vessel with love. Love and trust your intuition. Know that you know enough. You're being drawn out of the ether, out of the darkness, right? Out of those dark nights of your soul. And just continue with the affirmations. Continue whatever you're doing. Keep it up. Because it's about that time, fam. It's about that time. Let's check the extra notes. Where's your sense of adventure? I love that card so much. Oh, it's not safe to go alone. You gotta have faith, fam. I call out the Vampire Slayer Faith from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She did her own thing, and true, sometimes it wasn't the correct thing to do. But she's still a Slayer. She still figured it out in the end. She still got her head on right, even when it felt like the world was against her and those who should have identified with, related to her, even when they didn't. Right? That strength, that resiliency, that ability to help others without sacrificing oneself. What's on the bottom of this? Do you think they're making a point? I want you to believe in yourself, even if at times you really are the only one that you have in your corner. Don't worry about it. The world is your oyster. The world is whatever you want to make it, fam. You just remember who you are, and remember that you are meant to enjoy your life, not be stressed out. And don't worry about them. They're on their own path, okay? They are on their own path. You do you. That doesn't, I don't care if anybody's telling you that that's selfish and whatnot. You know, some people, they only love us when we're doormats. And you do not deserve that. You deserve better. All right? Oh, Fan, thank you so much for joining me in this reading. I hope that this helped, even if it's just a matter of hearing somebody else say that you deserve better than what these turd biscuits have been trying to offer you, all right? And take care of yourself, even if you're on a budget. You take care of yourself. You take a moment to make sure that you are luxuriating, okay, fam? And always remember that I believe in you.